Williams. What is up, everybody? Yeah, this is a different scenario. So we don't have the awesome digs of the studio this morning because this tech guy has an issue with my browser not being able to recognize. It thinks that the microphone and the camera are in use by something, and they're not. So if anybody has any idea what that might be, please, by all means, comment and let us know. I would be greatly appreciative. So anyway, my cohort, Peter, has something that he has to do right away after this. So he is from home. And Peter, that is a gorgeous house you have, I must say.
It's beautiful. I was playing on the piano this morning. It was very relaxing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Maybe
and then
that was the section for soon.
What was that?
Maybe he can go ahead and play for us here in a few minutes.
Yeah, why don't you walk back? Why don't you walk back there and play us a tune?
Got some Chopin or something.
And then we are joined by our awesome regional tech trainer, Ryan Yarbrough. We want to, let me see if I have what I need here, and I do, yay. All right, so today we're going to be talking about Mega Agent Camp. We're going to do a recap of that. Peter and I were not able to go, but Ryan was there. And then we might hear from some of our colleagues. Maybe some labs advisors might pop in, or some of our other leaders and agents around the region that went. And then we're also going to talk about the playbooks. We're going to show you where to go get these playbooks that we keep hearing about. And we're going to show you a little bit of their content so that you can see how important they are to your business. And that leads me right into our culture moment. So we are back. As always, I just want to point out that is the lovely Mo Anderson, who is the heart and soul of Keller Williams culture and the reason that Red Day exists. Red Day was developed to be a tribute to Mo and her philanthropy. So that was a big word. You guys like that I got that out like that?
Yeah, good job.
So that is why Red Day always falls on that around May 10th, because is it May 10th or May 12th? I think it's May 12th, right? That's Mo's birthday. Anyway, this year it actually happened to fall on Mo's birthday, which was pretty cool. So it's typically going to be that second Thursday of May. And we are on our mission. So this is our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. That is what the MVVBP stands for. And we are back full circle to the beginning at mission. And the Keller Williams mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. Now, I can tell you, I've been here so long that the mission used to be the first three lines, and that was it. Did you guys know that? Ryan, I think you've been here long enough that you probably saw the last two get added too. So I love that experiences worth giving and legacies worth leaving were added. Anything there that you guys want to comment on, what stands out for you, or any personal stories around that?
Well, for me, the whole thing is what brought me to Keller Williams when I first joined, because I was an actual independent broker myself in Tennessee. So when I came and saw God Family Real Estate and saw all these MVVPs, it really drew me to it, because this is some of the stuff that I was missing from my business. And it was my core values. I just didn't express them. So I wanted to learn from people who had this down. They had a clear vision.
Yeah, well, and you have a legacy to leave to three lovely little ladies, don't you?
Yes, sir. I sure do. So I definitely want to leave that. And they already know as soon as they turn 18, they're getting their real estate license. They don't have to do real estate, but they will get their license.
That's awesome. We just got joined by one of our fellow labs advisors too. So if he wants to get his camera going, I will bring him on here and introduce him. Peter, anything there that stands out for you?
Well, it's all about the legacies for me. as I keep saying about the 201 Plus, having a database that has a value, you can then rent that to another agent, sell it to another agent, share on the proceeds in retirement from the database that you built up. So that's definitely part of it, along with profit share. So yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right. So our objective today is to gain perspective of the value obtained by attending Mega Agent Camp, and we're going to discover the playbooks. Okay? And the benefits of that are understanding the importance of attending KW training conventions. So we've got family reunion. If you're a leader or investor, there's Mega Leadership Camp, which was awesome as well. And then you've got Mega Agent Camp. And then your region typically will have training events throughout the year. So all these things are really important. And then to be able to apply the playbooks to launch or build your real estate business. Why do I say launch or build? Do those playbooks work for somebody who's brand new?
Absolutely. That's what they're designed for, right?
Yeah. Well, and also for those agents who are already in the business that need to grow or need a reboot in their business, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know of any other large national brokerage that offers guides to exactly how to create and build a business in real estate. I mean, Gary Keller with the book Millionaire Real Estate Agent was definitely first out of the gate, but I've not seen anybody else come close. So it's a great value proposition that Keller Williams has. And these playbooks are amazing. I mean, I just bought one. I bought the printed version of it, the one from Mega Agent Camp. I'm waiting for it to be delivered, but it looks like a goldmine of ideas.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I just glanced at the social media playbook, and it actually gives you step-by-step what you need to do, and that's one that we're definitely going to look at today. All right, so even though we're talking about Mega Agent Camp experiences and the playbooks actually tie into the 201 Plus Club, don't they? Because what the 201 Plus Club is research was done that shows that agents who had 201 or more healthy contacts, and that means that there's 4 pieces of information that are 20% towards the contact health score, and then there's 5 at 4%. And we actually have that chart in the MCTTs Unleashed group in Facebook. So you can find it there, or you can reach out to Peter or myself, and we will get it to you and let you in that group. But it says that anybody that has those 201 or more healthy contacts achieved the average GCI was at 119,510, and everything added to the database that was followed up with in a systematic way, the GCI started to soar after that 201 plus. So you want to get into the 201 plus. And the playbooks are going to go a long way to helping you build your strategies to add to that database. Anything else anybody wants to add there?
It can be simple, right? The playbooks are designed to give you simple ideas you can execute. So one of them could just be creating a newsletter to send to your database. The other can be, be intentional about how you communicate your smart plans using command.
Yep.
There's things like neighborhood nurture, which is a more dynamic way of giving information to consumers, which is what they're looking for, so they understand the market. But none of it is rocket science. None of it.
Right.
None of it. All the playbooks are simple, easy to execute, that anybody can do, and you don't need a big budget.
Yep.
So if you're starting out, it can be done for sure. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Keep it simple. Keep it very simple.
Keep it simple.
I said keep it simple. I think the biggest thing is they try and get in there and overcomplicate it, and it's really not that hard. Just get in there and fill it out as much as you can.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so let's talk about Mega Camp. Ryan, I'm going to bring you up here and tell us all about Mega Camp, buddy, and what the experiences were for you.
To me, I went to a lot of the it's not breakouts like family reunion. It's more like meeting space, and you went in there and listened to the speakers, and got to see Tim Tebow speak. Got to see Tony DeCello speak. That was great. And one thing I really loved about seeing Tony DeSalle speak at the CEO Mastermind there was he just kept on saying, bring it back to basics. And that's basically what it is. You stop overcomplicating. There's so much, and we have so much technology that the technology is only good as a tool to help you try to stay focused on what's important, and that's the relationships. And just do the basic things. Just talk to people. Don't try and overcomplicate it. So that's going back to the playbooks. Just don't overcomplicate it. Get in there and put your contacts in. It's a contact sport. So you got to make your contacts, talk to these people. And it doesn't mean you have to be salesy. You can just ask them, how are they doing? So Tony really hit hard on that in the Tony style that he has. And so that was very, very good. There was a lady up there that was speaking. I can't remember her name in this moment, but they made a movie about her where she was like the queen of poker, and she set up these poker tables and stuff, and she was arrested for it, and she served her community service. And anyways, it was just talking about the fact of how she would persevere, because she got knocked down didn't mean that she was gonna stop. She kept going, and she did it legally until she did it illegally. So she had everything set up properly. It's just then she got a little bit greedy, and it just taught her how to be more humble about herself. And that was really a powerful thing to sit there and hear her talk about that. And
I didn't know she was there. I know the movie you're talking about. I think I saw parts of it. I certainly remember the trailer for it. I thought that it was pretty interesting. So that was pretty cool. I didn't realize she was there.
I never seen it before. Yeah, she was there, and she did a great job of standing up there speaking. That was fun. The other one, again, was Tim Tebow. He was up there talking about coaching, how important coaching was in his life. And it really is that big of a deal. You think about it, and would you be where you are today without having some sort of coach? I played baseball. I played football. I played track. And without a coach pushing you and telling you what to do, would you do it? I mean, I would go to the gym, and I've got myself a trainer before, not because I don't know how to exercise. I played these sports. We had weightlifting in school. I know how to work out. That wasn't the point. The coach was there to hold me accountable, because I don't want to let the coach down, and I don't want to let myself down when that coach is holding me accountable. So it was very important to him. He was talking about the one person in his life that really made a big impact on it, and he said it was his high school coach.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't his college coach, who did have an impact on his life, but the biggest one was his high school coach.
Well, let's be honest. Nobody wants to claim Urban Meyer these days.
Not these days, but Tim has a appreciation for Urban. He really did help him. However, it was his high school coach, and when you went, he was talking about going to his funeral and how big that funeral was. It filled up a stadium. There's that many for a high school coach. I mean, he went
all
on
those people he impacted.
Yeah, it's a big impact. So being a coach is a very fulfilling job, and it can sometimes not feel so much that way. I mean, I feel like I'm coaching a lot of market center tech trainers and stuff all the time, and sometimes it doesn't feel like you're getting through, and sometimes it does. So I applied it to what I do, listening to what he said, and am I doing a good enough job getting through to them to make a big impact on their life? So that was important. But Phil came up there and spoke on his book, and that was probably my favorite part, because he was talking about how to talk to people. And I think that goes back to the contacts again. You don't have to talk to people about, are you interested in buying something, investing in real estate? Yes, that is the conversation, but there's other ways of saying that, and just being real with people and making it human. And the best part about it is, I know I shared with you guys as market center tech trainers, one of the books I've been reading lately is You're Not Listening. And it's trying to be a better listener. That's for my personal relationships and for my work relationships, because am I doing a good enough job listening to people when they're talking?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I didn't hear what you said. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't listening.
You are listening. So it's not just what people say, it's how they say it. So I agree, because I've heard Jason Abrams talk about the proximity to people, and if you're texting people all the time or emailing people all the time, they're not seeing you. And if you can't see them, then you really don't see their body language. You don't see the expressions on their face. So you're not really actively listening. It's harder to do so, even if you're trying to. And Phil really talked about that in depth. And if you haven't read his book, I would definitely go get it. And his name was Phil M.
Phil Jones.
Phil M. Jones.
Yeah.
His series is exactly what to whatever, right?
Yeah.
Exactly what to say for real
Exactly
estate
what to
agents. It's
They have
$14
for real estate
on
agents,
Amazon.
and
Yeah.
they have the regular version. The real estate agents one is really good. The great part is if you listen, I don't know if he's on Audible like speaking it, but listening to him is great because he's got that British accent like Peter. So it's fun to hear.
Yeah, it's not a book you can listen to because it's a series of tables of words that you would use in a particular situation. So it's not written in like a narrative style. It's more of a textbook about what language to use in what in what environment. But yeah, I mean, if you're saying to people, are you thinking of buying, selling, investing in real estate? You're transactional. You're hunting for a transaction. You're not even attempting to build a relationship, and that we've proven will fail. You know, you'll burn out just trying to find people who want to transact right now. The goal is to build a relationship so that they refer you to somebody who may transact, or when their time comes to make a move, they're going to be with you. But the power of video along with it. So if you create those narratives that Phil's talking about and put them into video and then send those videos on a weekly basis using your command and set up a campaign and put the video on YouTube and then send it out through an email, you're going to be able to communicate with the mass audience and keep top of mind. But
yeah,
awesome.
Pay through.
Yeah.
And before I got to take off, but I want to thank you guys for having me on. One thing I do want to put out there is I know you guys did a thing on it on the websites, and I just want to reiterate on it. The websites are not out to everybody. So if anybody is looking to find those websites, you'd want to get a hold of Labs or try to get with Labs if you want to be part of it. However, just keep in mind, if you're switching to that, it's being tested right now. It's not fully functional. So you got to be very patient with it. I kind of suggest to everybody to just chill and let those people who are testing it test it first.
Well, and there's things about it you have to understand. So you can actually go see our episode from last week, and it'll run you through what you need to know because there's decisions you have to make, right? So, yeah, definitely. Thanks for pointing that out.
I just wanted to bring it up because we were I hear it a lot this past week, and coming back from Mega Camp, a lot of people at Mega Camp got to see it. They had it out on display, and if you were there at Mega Camp, they gave you an opportunity to sign up to be part of that experience. So, just be patient. You don't want something that isn't necessarily working if you're a busy person and you don't have time to test it. If you're a nerd like we are, we like to test and break things. So we'll test it for you, break it, and then once it's working fully and the way you guys would want it, we'll get it released to you.
Yep. Hey, I'm going to bring somebody in here real quick so he can say hi and bye to you.
It's my buddy.
Dad. What's up, buddy? You're on mute.
I saw him over at Mega Camp. I gave him a hug.
What's going on there, Ryan? I know you got to get out of here, but yeah, it's great to see you. We had a great time at Mega Camp. I know that's kind of what the theme today is, but it's great to. We don't get to see each other very often, and it's always good to get there and see people that we just get to see in a Zoom box, all the time, and so. Yeah.
Bill, I noticed you put your hat on to make sure you kept with the theme. I'm a little bit disappointed. I don't see much plaid on the shirt.
No, not on the shirt today, but it is on the shorts. I don't think you really want me to point the camera down that way.
But
probably it's boxers, but we don't need to display.
No.
Bye, guys.
I have my 201 shirt.
Hi, Ryan.
I'm wearing the 201 Club shirt today. That's
awesome. That's fantastic. So, Bill, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you, Brett.
How was your Mega Camp experience?
It was a different experience for me than it has been for several years now. We've kind of been going through a bit of a transition period in my market center, or my former market center at this point, and so I was no longer actually there as leadership or trying to take notes for all of the roles of leadership. I was not the only representative of leadership there. So it was kind of just more for me and more just as an agent, knowing that as I transitioned to a new market center, which has been made official this week, that I'd eventually be back into a leadership role. So kind of still keeping my ears open for that sort of information, but really just trying to pick up on some of the things that are going to help me propel my business forward as an agent. And it's been a while since I've really focused on just that part of it.
Listened with your agent ears.
Yeah. It's really strange not to have 5 hats on at Mega Camp, quite literally. So it was eye opening from that perspective. Lots of nuggets, and I missed all of Ryan's comments. So I'm sure he shared a bunch of those, but lots of just great nuggets. And I actually stuck around for IDW Instructional Development Workshop as well. So
I was a little jealous.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw everybody posting that they were going to that, because I know like X was there and
he did a
Zach
great
Younger,
job.
right? Yeah. So Xavier, who a lot of people probably know from our region because he's in our South Florida region, he was actually the instructor there, and he is such a fantastic instructor. He's got so much energy, so much fun to be in the presence of.
Yeah, and the lineup of people, that were brought in, and I'm sure you know this too, but this is the first IDW that was available for since 2019. So it had been a full 4 years since, obviously with COVID and everything else, since we've actually been able to get together and have an IDW. The room was packed. There wasn't an empty seat in that entire training center. I don't know if you've been there, but it's quite a large room. It's a great place to teach. I'm super jealous of X that he got to teach in that room. And as he mentioned, it was kind of a dream of his to be able to do that and teach there. And that certainly spurred my desire to teach there as well. So anyway.
That is a nice training facility. I've been there for a couple events.
Yeah.
Pretty much franchise systems operations is the main one.
Yeah.
But yeah, great. I saw from the pictures and the video there was not an empty seat. So, Bill, have you taken Train the Presenter and things like that? Train the Trainer Advanced Workshop.
Yep. I haven't been to T3AW yet, but
okay. So how does instructor development workshop, how does that compare? And do you have to have taken one of the others to graduate to that point, or was it an open invitation?
It's an open invitation, but I think it makes sense. I can see how, actually having gone through Train the Presenter, and I went through it with Zach, so of course I got the cream of the crop as far as that goes. Having gone through that actually helped going through the material in IDW, just because there's references made. I wouldn't call Train the Presenter necessarily a prerequisite. It's not necessary. It's just helpful. Right.
Gotcha. Awesome. So is there a key breakout session or anything like that really stood out for you?
I kind of went to one that not many people heard about, or it wasn't very widely known or advertised. There is a new community in the KW world now, which a lot of people have been kind of asking questions on it lately, at least in the Lives of Advocate community. So with Keller Offers and Keller Mortgage and Keller Home Loans and all of those kinds of things that are kind of off the radar sort of at this point, there was kind of a need there, and that's being filled now with KW Offerings. And that was launched kind of at a lunch and learn session on, I don't even remember which day it was. Every day is kind of the same there. So, but it's actually a few people in my region that actually got together and have been putting this together and researching it and developing it over the last couple of years, testing it out in certain markets to make sure that the model makes sense. And what they've put together is quite impressive. So, I mean, I would encourage you and anybody who's paying attention here to go to KW Offerings and at least check it out and see if that's something that might work for you and your business. It really combines a lot of what we do in Command, and creating MOFers and putting out campaigns, as well as having the financial backing of, well, Gary.
Yeah,
So he's in there,
it's a good
as
wallet
well.
to have back you.
Yeah. So he's kind of one of if you're going to follow someone, that's not a bad one to follow.
That's
So,
right.
having that kind of backing is pretty important and impressive. So that was partially why I wanted to go and see, if this thing is as great as it seems, and how do we get involved? And there's opportunities, of course, for agents and to participate in that as well. So it's not just, it's not just Gary's money. There's a lot of investors, and you can absolutely take part in it as well. So
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So is that? So I posted in the comments so that it'll show up on Facebook and the YouTube channel. But is offerings actually like all the ancillary services coming together?
Yeah.
Or is this that? So
it's not so much the mortgage side of things, but it is going to be. It does have kind of a Keller Offers feel to it,
Gotcha.
but with the addition of MOFR creation and campaign creation and all of that kind of alongside of it. So
one thing, because we've got an audience of agents and some of them are brand new, they may not
Sure.
know what a MOFA is.
Yeah,
I was just about to say that. I was going to let everybody know that Plaid Dad's not using a 4-letter word or calling anybody a name. So
MOFR just stands for Make Offer for Immediate Response. So when we are creating ad copy or just even a simple post on Facebook and trying to generate activity and eyes on our content, it's not just can I give you a free CMA? That's old. It's worn out. That's not really going to move the needle as far as a consumer is concerned. For one, they don't know what a CMA is anyways. So offering them something they don't even know anything about for free is not really going to get them up off the couch. But what does it are things like, get a cash offer for your home today, or just, do you know what your home is worth? How can I save you, or how can I get you $20,000 extra for your home today? So there's lots of options as far as kind of immediate offers out there for like the iBuyer type people. And if we can show them how we can get them more, people are going to be much more interested in that. So
yeah, it's like a call to action at the nth level, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's like the ultimate call to action.
Yep. And it's relatable. It has to be relatable to the consumer. It's not just realtor speak. It has to be something that they can really grab onto and understand, and not have to try to digest or decipher as they're scrolling through. The whole idea is to get them to stop the scroll, right? If we can put something out there that makes them stop and read, and then click, that's much better than just kind of the same thing that everybody else is putting out there. So
yeah, well, that's awesome insight. I appreciate it, Bill. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself, because this is mostly agent focused. Yep. And so love to connect you with some referrals. Anybody needs something out your way.
Yeah, of course. I'm in Goodyear, Arizona. I'm currently with Keller Williams Realty Phoenix, which is actually based out of Tempe. which is kind of more east side and downtown Phoenix. But anything on the west side of Phoenix, it's pretty much my forte. I love listing houses. I've got 3 of them going live this week, so
Nice.
super excited about just helping out my friends and family. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been a market center tech trainer. I've been a productivity coach. I've been on the ALC. I've been top 10%. I've been bold 4 times. You name it. I've done it, with the exception, of course, of T3AW, which is definitely on the calendar. But I've had the opportunity to work with some really great OPs in my time. I mean, I can name drop, but Wendy Patton, who happens to be one of the people that was interviewed for the first edition of the real estate millionaire real estate investor book, the blue book, she's in that. And then my just previous OP right now was Kristen Cole.
Yeah.
And she's, kind of one of, if Gary's going to have dinner with 5 people, she's going to be with that at that table. So
her hubby's over here in our area.
Yeah. And for Denny's, Denny was one of my bold coaches when I took bold.
Yeah.
So I've been in that world. So now I'm actually in one of Cody Gibson's market centers. So I have, I'm really looking forward to that opportunity to just kind of broaden my horizons and see how things are a little bit different in Cody's world than they are in Kristen's, for sure. So just kind of dipping my toes in the water over there for now. So
awesome. Well, cool. Thanks, buddy, for joining us. You're welcome to hang out. We're gonna jump into the playbooks and show everybody how to find them.
Sounds good.
It's entirely up to you. All right. So
looking forward to it.
Awesome. I'm going to bring this in. Peter, talk to me about the playbooks, buddy. What do you know about them? Give our audience a little intro into these playbooks.
Well, what they are is, when you start in real estate, and the biggest complaint a real estate agent has is nobody will tell me how to do this. I ask the successful agents, what you're doing on a daily basis to make things fire up and bring in business. And the biggest complaint is that they don't want to help you, right? Yeah. Well, this is the opposite of that. This is all the help you could possibly have condensed down into some PDF documents in simple, actionable steps on exactly what to do to be a successful real estate agent. And it can be from using AI to, how to run a mega open house. There's everything you can think of when it comes to operating in real estate, how to build and manage your database, how to be intentional about communicating with your database. So there are multiple playbooks. They're all written by Gary. Well, they're written by the team, right? So I know Jason Abrams has a big input in a lot of them. So they're written by different people, but what they've done is they've interviewed the top agents across the whole organization of 180,000 agents and asked them for a step-by-step breakdown on how you did it. And then they've translated that information into actionable steps. So really, they're gold. They're absolute gold. They
yeah,
really
I think they are too. And you'll see as we get into them, the cover actually looks like a football coach's playbook and things like that. And teams, individual players, none of them find success without a playbook, right? A coaching and the playbook. So they are definitely a huge value to you if you're launching or rebooting or just trying to build your business.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you run out of ideas, right? You're sat at home and you're thinking, well, this isn't really firing up. I'm not getting the number of people communicating with me. I'm not having enough conversations. Turn to the playbooks, pick one of them, pick one of the actionable steps in it, and go ahead and deliver it, because there's nothing missing. What I love about them is they're really comprehensive. They're short and simple, but they're very comprehensive at the same time. They don't miss any steps. And some of the steps are vital. So you got to take the playbook. You can get them on KW Connect. You just type in Playbooks and they're all there.
Yep.
They're free. There are some printed versions of one or two of them that you can buy from the well, there's a bookstore, right? A KW bookstore. I think you get them from. That's where I ordered one from the other day.
Keller Inc. INK.
Yeah. I thought it was a tattoo place.
That'd be funny.
Just get a KW tattooed on.
That's right. So I'm gonna show us right here. So what Peter's talking about, I'm on my home screen in the home dashboard of Command, and I'm just gonna click over here on Connect. So if you're an agent that hasn't been in Connect for a while, leadership as well, if you haven't been into Connect in a while, the user experience is a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah, and the search function works now.
Yeah.
It didn't used to work very well. It works really well.
Yep. So I'm going to show you right here because I've already bookmarked it, but then I'm going to show you how to search for it too. So we have Learning Home, which is where we can search for things. And then this is the home page. You can see there's the playbooks, right? Those are showing my bookmarks, right? And then you can just kind of see we've got events, we got ALC clinics, so all kinds of things, all the education that's going on throughout our Keller Williams systems.
Yeah, and just to highlight the no ceilings level up for your lead generation and command your business. They're lengthy courses, so I think one of them's 12 hours long.
Yeah.
So these are highly detailed courses which are free. They're on demand. It will rate you as you're going along and make a note of how much you've journeyed into that course and how long you've got to go. But I strongly recommend that you take a look at those courses and implement them. So they're highlighted right at the top for a reason. Yep.
So I'm going to click on My Learning right here, and this is everything that you've bookmarked and saved so that you can come back to it and find it easier for yourself. So just like we bookmark a website that we want to be able to come back and reference whenever we want, we can actually bookmark each of the sections, the courses and the materials that are in Connect. So here's the playbooks, but then I'll show you how we can actually find them. I'm going to go back to Learning Home. And then up here in the search bar, I'm just going to type in playbooks. It's that simple. And when I bring it up, all of the playbooks are right here for me to look at. Okay, so I'm going to click on the actual catch-all of playbooks. And when I click on that, you're going to see that it gives us every single one of the playbooks. And here's the other thing that I like, Peter, and you mentioned about Jason Abrams' involvement in some of these playbooks. Some of them even have a video that explains what the playbook is about and how to apply it. So that's kind of nice too. I always love listening to Jason. He's one of my favorite people at International. Just his energy. I don't think there's anything better than him and Mark King on stage together. The way the two of those play off of each other. Sorry, Gary, but they're fun to watch, and I always enjoy that. So. Anytime Jason's got a video, I want to watch it, and he helps explain some of these things. So these are books the playbooks are for agents and for leadership. You'll see some in here, like Teamridge is a playbook that can probably be used for either. Some offices have Teamridge at the market center level, and then some agents are doing Teamridge themselves as well. We've got ISA model, so if you're a team looking to grow, K-score operations is in here. There's a lot of really good stuff in here.
Yeah. So the alarming thing is they're very much underused, right? We've got 180,000 agents and we've got 1,500 downloads. So we've got to really spread the word. So if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching it on YouTube, tell your other agents about this, right? Tell your peers, bring it up in team meetings that these playbooks are there. Because they're gold. I mean, when I started out in real estate, if I had this, it would have saved me 10 years. 10 years of trying to figure this out. Statement. Yeah, because I had to figure it out because nobody would help me. I remember I did it twice. So I started out in real estate in the UK with Prudential, and then opened my own high street brokerage. Back in the day, just before the internet, homes were sold by having a picture in the window on the high street. People would come along, look in the window, ask for a showing, right? Things rapidly changed in 1994 when the internet came out. And I had to learn from scratch how to leverage the internet, how to leverage different models to build a business. And I had to fail every time. You know, it was fail, fail, fail. Oh, that worked. Right, keep that. Fail, 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 fail. And the cost of failure is so expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
you benefit from it, you learn, but the actual
Sure.
financial cost is enormous. So you can go in here, an online lead generation or social media for real estate agents. You've got exactly what to do, how to do it from people who have achieved and been successful in that. So the knowledge comes from other agents. This isn't like some guru who reckons he's got it all worked out. This is peer-to-peer information proven in the field. So that's why I call it gold, and it's free. I mean, you can't get
Yeah.
better than that, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you could sell these for a fortune, even the AI one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
You
so
know.
we're gonna pop in here and look at some of these, but like you said, you know, Gary talks about failing forward all the time, and like you mentioned, we've heard Gary and other people talk about it too. That failure can be a good thing because you learn from those mistakes and you don't make those mistakes again, hopefully. But if having the playbooks can actually limit those mistakes and those failures that you may put yourself through, why would you try to reinvent the wheel? And that's one of my concerns too. And one of the main reasons that we wanted to show you how easy it is to access these playbooks is to bring them to your attention so that you know that they're there, so that you can actually dive into them and limit your failures. My fear is, just like with the red book, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, there's a lot of agents that know that it's there. They may have even read it and then decided to reinvent the wheel and do things their own way and get creative before they've actually done the fundamentals. And that's what I hope you won't do. And I'm speaking from experience with that.
Yeah, but it's human nature. So here's the deal with
Sure.
that, right?
Yeah.
If you're willing to give up your job and be self-employed and have no pay and have no insurance and literally head out into the world on your own, your natural instinct is to try build something from scratch, your
Right.
own way, and try and use your own innovative thinking to achieve a result. What we're
Yeah.
saying is there are systems and models that have been built over 40 years that have been proven to be timeless and work. And it's almost like you've got to give up that part of that risk-taking entrepreneurial spirit and become a person that's more accustomed to using systems and models. And
Yeah.
it's really, really hard to get your mindset around it. What you're really doing is saving yourself a lot of pain and a lot of time and a lot of money to get to the same place that you wanted to get to quicker. So using these playbooks is most definitely the way forward. And like I said, when I came to America, and it was about 2008, 2009, all the house prices were half. There was very, very hard to get a mortgage. The market was kind of cash rich, lots of investors. But it was like a sale, right? Properties were cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So there was plenty of buyers out there. And obviously there was the foreclosed inventory, which didn't necessarily need an agent in those transactions. I mean, some people were dealing directly with banks. But as the market stabilized and recovered, I was trying everything. I was trying postcards and open houses and floor time and all the traditional stuff that you do. And I was looking at these agents that were doing, 100 transactions a year with just an assistant. And I was asking them, hey, how do you find the customers? How do you do it? And nobody would tell me anything. Their lips were sealed. They would not help.
Yeah.
And now it wasn't just that one brokerage. I went to 2 or 3 brokerages over a period of a couple of years, trying to find a place that would give me the training and give me the knowledge. And they were just resistant to it. This is absolutely the opposite. This is how we did it. It works. Right. Have it for free. So why the agents are like poring over these books on a daily basis and implementing the ideas, I don't know. I think they don't know they're there.
Right.
I think that's the big problem. So we want to spread the word that these playbooks are there for you to implement and to quickly get into production, or to reinvent your business and get into a higher level of production. They're for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
And like you said, I mean, that's one of the things that makes Keller Williams so amazing is our culture of sharing. And yeah, now you know how to find them. So let's dive into one of these. One of the ones I really want to look at is the social media playbook.
Yeah.
So I teach a class called The Real Deal that I co-authored with Kimber Walton and Chris Orsini. The three of us teach it together as much as we can. And one of the things that we talk about in that class is using the power of video and social media. So we deal a lot with, and I know, Peter, you've experienced this in your 5 market centers as well. In my market center, I get a lot of agents that are brand new to the area because I'm in one of the most desirable parts of Florida that everybody wants to move to. So we get agents that are brand new to the business, or sorry, brand new to the area and brand new to the business, and they need to build a database. Yes, we have some of that built already with the contacts in our phone, but how does one get started like that, right? And so one of the things that we teach in The Real Deal is the power of video and social media to build that online presence and start coming from contribution in your posts and in your videos. And you can really start to engage an audience and build a following like that. And so the social media playbook is one that I would recommend for those agents, especially that need to start building a database. And you may be new to real estate or new to the area and real estate. And there's just gold in here, right?
Yeah. I mean, one of the fundamental differences between Keller Williams and the other big names out there is the other big names rely on their own branding, not the agents. So the agents are not building a business within a business. They're just representing a brand. So it'll be the balloon or whoever it might be out there. They're selling that brand and saying, look, this brand's got an association for being effective of what it does. But really, you're just renting space on somebody else's stage, right? What we're trying to do is teach you that you're the player in your own world, and you should be building your own stage, your own backdrop, your own branding, what your unique service or value proposition is, what you offer to the consumer, and that can all be done in bite-sized pieces using all of the different channels. It's showing here, YouTube being probably my favorite right now.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
And that's one thing you and I talk about, and we also teach in The Real Deal, is that I'm a firm believer that all of your video content should be housed on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is Google is the #1 search engine. YouTube is the #2 search engine, and Google loves itself. So anything that you put on YouTube is going to get lots of Google juice on the #1 and #2 search engines in the world.
Yeah.
You can leave it on, store it on YouTube. That is your kind of home base for all your content, and then you can repurpose it and put it on the other platforms.
I just got 5,000 organic free views on a video.
Yeah.
And the only thing I did, it's the simplest thing, is I named the video the address of the property.
So it pops up when,
So when somebody sees that property is for sale, that is a luxury property. There's a big demand for it. It has now closed. It's sold. But it was appearing in the Google search results right at the top instead of Zillow and Realtor.com. The video was appearing. So I got 5,000 free views, which people saw my brand, my name, my phone number, watched the video, made comments, and that reach for free was solely done by naming the video the property address. So that's one tip. If you're creating video content and you've got a listing, call it 123 The Avenues, Port Charlotte, wherever you are, create your video. The algorithm will pick it up and deliver it on YouTube to people who are interested in property in that area, but it will also show in the search results when people are looking. So you can get tremendous reach with YouTube. Tremendous.
Yeah, that's powerful. So, and what's great about this playbook is it's showing it starts right off with showing you where you need to be, right? YouTube, 81%. So this is growing share of Americans say they use YouTube. Facebook remains one of the most widely used online platforms among U.S. adults. We already know that. Most people already know that. You may not realize that YouTube is more powerful than Facebook, though, and it is by pretty close to 20%, right?
Yeah.
So YouTube, Facebook, those are the most powerful. Then Instagram. Instagram reaches a younger audience. I think that's pretty well known as well. And then everything else kind of falls behind that. I think when I look at this graph, one of the things, and I've wasted money with them before, is Nextdoor.com. I used to spend a lot of money on Nextdoor.com, and my return on investment was absolutely zero. And you know, if I'd
Well,
had
only 1 in 3 households are on it, and they're barely on it.
yeah,
Right?
well, if I had a graph like this before I decided to listen to Nextdoor, who was telling me how amazing it was to advertise there, I'd have been like, yeah, no thanks, nobody's looking at you. So
Yeah.
you know, there's power in the research that's in these playbooks as well.
Yeah, and the other thing is
yeah.
the Facebook and YouTube. One of the big distinctions is YouTube can be much more hyperlocal. So the way that you build your content can be based on like farming a particular section of a town or a community, right?
Yeah.
So you can get really, really hyper local. It's much harder to do that with Facebook, especially with ads, because they have a 15-mile radius restriction for displaying ads. So that's 30 miles, which that encompasses more than just the town that you're trying to market. It can be multiple towns. So you kind of spread thin automatically. You don't have that problem with YouTube. YouTube's hyperlocal. You can build a presence on YouTube for a particular community and attract interest in it. So I think that's another powerful thing. But of course, the other aspect is the intent behind the consumer. Now, I'm guilty of this. I do browse YouTube. I let the algorithm suggest videos, and I'll spend hours watching videos that it thinks I'm interested in. It's usually about UFOs and aliens and stuff, right? So I go down a rabbit hole all the time. But one thing people use YouTube for is to answer questions. Like if your car breaks down, the first thing you do is go on YouTube and see if you can fix it yourself, right?
Right.
Can I, you know, what has anybody as a mechanic put a video out? Well, for real estate, it's the same. Like, how do I sell? How do I buy? What's the pluses and minuses of living in Port St. Lucie? So you'll see realtors create content like the do's and don'ts, or the kind of positive and negative aspects about an area. And the negative ones are the ones that hook the customers. They want to know what no one else is saying, right? Like there's a noisy I-75, I-95 plowing right through the neighborhood. You can't sleep at night. They want to know the truth, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of content is attracting eyeballs. And I've forgotten his name, but there's the guy in Orlando who's got this massive YouTube channel.
Ken Pozak.
Yeah, unreal. Go look him up. Ken Pozak, Pozak.
And actually, if you're in our South Florida region, he is going to be one of the key presenters at the Fall Mastermind coming up on September 7th and 8th.
Yeah. So it's a paid-for event because there's limited space, right? And they've got to pay for the venue. Yeah. I think it's $299 or $249 to get in there.
It's $299 for a standard ticket. I want to say it is.
I think it's $399 for the
$399 for VIP. Yeah, which gets you the cocktail party on the 7th and a VIP lunch with one of those key presenters. Yeah. I've done both. I'm going as $299 this time. I'm on a tighter budget than I have been in the past. But it's still.
We can always take some sandwiches.
Absolutely. It's still worth it because you will see those people moving around in the hotel and be able to stop and talk to them and connect with them. You know, Mark King's going to be there, the president of KWRI, which is awesome because if you've never met Mark King or been in his presence, the sincerity and how authentic he is really comes through when you interact with him. And he's just a dynamite person. Came down here to check on us after the hurricane and all that stuff. So if you can make it to the mastermind,
where's it been held at
Fort
this
Lauderdale,
year?
it's worth. It is at the Marriott Harbor something, but it's in Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of.
And it's been there in the past.
Yeah. So for the market centers that I work with, it's a little drive, but it's worth it. I went last year and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely awesome. So if you can, make sure that you get to that event, and you'll meet and hear about Ken Pozak, who has built an entire business on YouTube. And like Peter was talking about, those are organic leads. Honestly, if I was going to focus anything on internet leads, it would be building out my video content on YouTube because it's organic. And if you're building some of the content you can create, we call evergreen, which means it never goes stale. Those kind of live on forever. So let's bring that back to the social media playbook and those things that Peter was talking about in the fact that of, providing content for your area, why people would want to move to an area, why they wouldn't want to move to an area. That's actually spelled out for you in the playbook, which I find fascinating. It gives you the step-by-step. So right here, social media, right? And what am I in? 3 pages into this thing? I don't know, 4. There's the cover, 1, 2, 3, and I'm right into putting this into action, right? So step 1, post to social media. Use the like model to create content. Well, that intrigues me because I don't know what the like model is, but I bet they're going to tell me. Schedule posts. Step 2, target my database. So I'm getting a step-by-step plan of what to do with my social media. And this one I love because Peter and I have both done this. Peter and I have businesses together. We have this podcast together, and we have done this exact thing, which is create a niche Facebook group, because it allows you to build community, and your community can actually engage outside of just you as well. They start to make connections within that group with each other.
I did this just for hits and giggles, right?
Yeah.
So I created Space and Treasure Coast Real Estate Facebook group. I've got 525 organically grown members in there. That's now.
Awesome.
They're all posting different stuff. There's a few agents in there. There's consumers in there. But having your own Facebook group is something a lot of agents don't think about, right?
Yeah.
You can create one with a very niche audience. It could be 55 plus communities. It could be retired living, active living, that kind of thing.
A specific community.
Yeah. Put it together and create a group and invite people into that group. And then you've got your own platform to run ads, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't cost you anything. It's free.
Exactly.
And then one thing, just scroll up a little bit because it said target my database. So under the brand new ads experience in Command, there are 2 reach ads which are cross-platform. So they go on Instagram, Facebook, and on the Google Ads network. So rather than appearing as text, they're image ads, and they go out to all the different websites that have an interest in real estate. So you might appear on, even on, I don't want to say it.
Yeah,
there.
Don't say it.
No.
Thank you.
No, on there anyway. So there is a little checkbox when you create the ad, and it says target my database, and then it says which tags do you want to target. So what you want to do is get your database and decide who your audience is going to be, and maybe put a tag in saying Facebook local audience or something like that, and put that as a tag on your database. Then you can run top of mind ads that will be seen by the people who are in your database. So not only are they getting emails from you and text messages, they're seeing you on social media.
That's awesome. So you're following them around everywhere.
So it's like there used to be this program called AdWorks, which did exactly that, and it was fantastic, but it costs money.
Yeah, I loved AdWorks, but you have to have a budget.
Apart from your ad spend, the system is free. So the power of Command and its new ad experience it's really worth some money. It really, I mean, I was comparing it to listings to leads. You pay $60 a month for listings to leads. Well, you've got that built in now into Command, so it's a value add. You can take this social media playbook and implement those ideas with Command. So get with your MCTT to help you, and I'm happy to do it with any of our agents, to help you build those campaigns out, and then put a modest budget into it and build your database. So
that's awesome. I always love your expertise on that stuff because you do so much of that. So let's jump in here. So the like model, I told you that kind of intrigued me. What does that mean? And so this is exactly what Peter was talking about a minute ago. Use the like model to create content. Hey, I don't know what kind of content to create. Well, guess what? The playbook tells you what to do. Local information, know me, engage in conversation. And then it explains what each one of those things means, right? The history of your town or area, upcoming community events, school events or calendars. This is talking about local information. I coach a couple of real estate agents in starting, building, growing their YouTube channel and creating their video content. And this is exactly the kind of stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah. So involving local businesses. So you can go along to a local restaurant and say, hey, I want to interview the owner, right? Get it on video, talk about the type of food that's available, the ambience of the location, you know, where to park, you know, the practical things around what's going on in your neighborhood, in your town, because that consumer who's in, you know, Chicago and is thinking about moving to Florida finds it really hard to find out what it's like to live in a particular location. They'll even come down here and rent and pay 50 grand, right? To rent a place for a couple of years before they decide where they're going to live. They really want to know about your area. So creating the topics for creating content, it's got there the history of your town, upcoming community events, school events or calendar, community service activities, interviews of prominent community members. So that could be, you know, all sorts. You know, you could get involved in
Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. School or college sports games and scores. Now that for me, that's kind of like, I don't even know why you play that game. You call it football and you don't even kick it.
I'm all for it.
Why don't you kick it? Kick that ball. Throwing it around at
it
each
should be
other.
called pass ball, shouldn't it?
Yeah, throwing it around at each other. And, I don't know. Anyway, whatever you call it, football. Soccer's king.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, so you want to get all that information into bite-sized, you know, 60-second, 90-second long videos that you can use as shorts on YouTube or use on Instagram Reels or Facebook. What do they call it on Facebook? Is it Reels on there as well now?
Facebook, yeah, I believe it is. Yeah.
So and I'm seeing agents do this. We have a couple who are really growing their presence locally on the East Coast, and they'll just grab the camera, point it at themselves, and do 60 seconds.
Right.
They're not. You know, don't get me wrong. I wish they'd use a proper microphone, and I wish they'd use a gimbal and try and stabilize the video. But they're just doing it, right? They're doing it, and it's effective. It's working.
That's all. That's all that matters. Yes, I will tell you that you really ought to have great audio, because audio is way more important than video. I think for 60 seconds, I'm okay with bad audio, but much more than that, it's going to drive me crazy. But you got to just press record, and my crappy video is better than your non-existent video.
Yes, exactly.
So the ones that are doing that, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they are doing it, and I've encouraged it in my time since I've been with KW. I've been encouraging agents to do this. Most are the biggest problem is the first video. So what they do is they'll make it and they'll record it and they'll hate it. They'll hate seeing themselves. They'll hate how they sound. They hate it and they'll never deliver it. Right? You've got to get over that, because that's purely psychological. Purely psychological. The customer doesn't look and analyze the video in the way that you do about yourself. But like you said, the most important thing is the sound.
Yes.
And everybody thinks about how they look. It's how you sound, because no one can tolerate the muffled, windy,
the wind noise.
Yeah.
It pierces my skull when I hear all that wind noise.
Yeah, it makes you want to throw your phone across the room.
I've spent a lot of money on different microphones trying to get rid of that wind noise.
Yeah.
I'm
seeing them now. There's these lapel mics that have like a big furry rabbit on top of them.
Yeah.
That's
what it's for.
To diffuse the noise, and they're not expensive.
No, and that actually, so they're called dead cats, not furry rabbits, but maybe that's what they call them in the UK. I don't know. But you'd be surprised how that one little attachment can cut down all of the like even on a super windy day, a dead cat will cut that out of a microphone.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to run everybody through how to find this again real quick. So I'm on my command dashboard. I'm going to click on connect. And then from the learning homepage, I'm just going to type in Playbooks, hit enter, and then click on the one at the top, which will give me all of the playbooks. And then what's really cool, you see this bookmark, and they're already darkened because I've already highlighted those. So I'm just going to click on that and add it to my bookmark. And now when I go over here to my learning,
there it is.
Everything that I have favorited or bookmarked is there.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're trying to encourage all of our agents to look at these documents. It's not like we're charging for them. They're not $19.99 to download. They're free, right? So dive in. Go grab them. They're really, really good. And that's where the location of the event is.
I knew it was Harbor something. I couldn't remember it. So thank you, Facebook user. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then I imagine this is coming. I'm not sure where this came from, but I think it was a little before I said that stuff about the audio. But Mr. Orsini would tell us to preach about good audio as well.
It was about systems and models. He was saying you've got to earn the right to be innovative by using what's known first. Yeah,
for sure. So the playbooks are there for you. This is powerful information that KWRI and agents, right? Agents and teams have helped them put this material together and have given you the model. Do we have the red book model? Yes, absolutely. And guess what? There's a new playbook for the millionaire real estate agent, which is fantastic. So you can, they gave those copies. Did they give some of those copies at Mega Agent Camp? I understand.
It's $20 to buy the printed version because it's big, and they're doing it at cost. There's no money being made. Right. And I've just ordered it, and I'm really looking forward to getting it because it's well, I don't want to call it the Bible, but you know what I mean. It's
that's okay. We call it the real estate Bible.
Yeah.
it's been referred to as that many a times. Yeah. So there's a playbook for that. I'm excited to see that. I'm going to mooch off of Peter on that one and see what it looks like when he gets it.
Yeah.
But these playbooks are there for you, and we're here for you. Your Market Center Tech Trainer is there for you. If you don't know who your Market Center Tech Trainer is, then you most likely have a regional tech trainer, and reach out to them. They will get you plugged in and pointed in the right direction. And if you don't know who either of those people are, then you can reach out to myself or Peter, and we will find those people for you and get you connected, because being connected with your market center is where you truly get to experience the Keller Williams culture and learning, and get all these materials presented for you, all the fantastic classes and training that are available to you, and really want to see. And I'll tell you, I can't stress this enough, as the husband of a former productivity coach. Productivity coaching is wonderful. So if you have a productivity coaching program in your market center, please take advantage of it. The first lesson my dad taught me in the real estate business is 100% of nothing is nothing. So if you're not taking advantage of productivity coaching because your productivity coach is asking for a very small fee in the grand scheme of things, guess what? You can keep 100% of your zero commissions, right? So take advantage of the opportunities and the training that's before you. And Peter, I don't like doing it this way. I much prefer when you are at the desk with me, but I'm glad we got this content out to everybody and we were able to introduce the playbook and get some feedback on Mega Agent Camp experiences. So
we'll be
Ryan
back to normal
and Bill, thank you.
We'll be back to normal together in the studio next week. It's just that I had an agent that wanted a call in at the same time I would have to travel to get to you. And they were returning to, they've been with us a long time. They're a dual market center agent. They were returning to using Command after giving up on it. Right.
Oh, that's fantastic. You got to take care of that.
I didn't want to let that down. So we had a really good conversation, 45 minutes, about what Command does now, why it's stable, why it works, what new features there are, the Command app, the mobile app, which you can run your business from your phone, you know, when you're out and about. So we had a really good conversation about that. And then the new websites that are coming, what to do and what not to do with that. So yeah, it was a good call. So sorry that we had to do it this way, but it worked.
No. That's great. And it shows our audience of agents the kind of dedication that your Market Center Tech Trainers provide to you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm no longer a Market Center Tech Trainer officially in my office, but I'm working with one of our teams that's been with us for quite a while to transition them from Brevity to Command, because they realize the benefit of it, and we're having success there. So I'm excited moving forward with that as well. So props to you on taking care of that agent. That's what we're here for, like we told you. So let us get you plugged in with your MCTT if you don't know who they are. You can find us on the Facebook group. It's a private group, MCTTs Unleashed. You can also find us on YouTube by the same name, MCTTs Unleashed, and leave your comments either place. We'll bring you into the Facebook group, get you connected. Peter, next week, I will see you in person. Bye, everybody. Thank you.